you very much for your time.
Thank you very much, guys.
Yeah, okay. So our next speaker is actually this one here, two. We have Harjit and Anoop Nair, who will be sharing content with us. So Harjit is actually a customer engineer, has a big name, you know? And Anoop is an IT community influencer. I love the guy. The guy can influence you. Mean that's great. Okay. So their session will be on Windows 365. Oh, welcome, 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 welcome.
Welcome, Manu, and welcome, Harjit. Good to see you.
Who left these guys in the
Hey.
house, huh?
Yes, yes, yes. We have a great combo. Nice
Okay,
one.
so the session will be Windows 365. What you should know. Wow, what should I know? I'm ready for it. And Harjit, if you are ready, the platform is for you. Go.
All right.
Okay, let me see if I can share my screen here. Content. Oh, wait, let me see. Window. Window.
Let me get this.
Yes, we're seeing this, right?
Yes, yes, we
All
can.
right. All
Yeah.
right. Ready to go, Anoop?
Hey, all set. Let's
All
go.
right. Okay, everyone. Namaste.
Hey,
Nobody,
Namaste,
namaste.
techies.
I think I have to learn how to do it. Nobody stay.
It's universal, right? It's
Uh,
you know.
okay. What's the meaning of that?
We covered it in our first show. You need to watch our shows.
Okay, okay.
No, it's a greeting. It's it's hello. It's good
Oh,
morning, good evening.
okay.
Uh, it's it's a way of being humble, right? Because when you're putting your hands together, you're like, hey, I'm,
Oh, okay.
yeah. So there's a lot of different meanings to it, but mainly it's a greeting, right? It's a
Oh,
universal greeting. So
okay.
anyway.
Wonderful. Yes. All right. All right. The platform is yours.
All
So if
right,
you
so I
can,
might turn off my video, but
if you can make your screen full screen or something, right? That would be great, right? The presentation.
yeah, like that. Is this what you're talking about? Hold on.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah.
All right, folks, thanks for joining us, and thanks for the team from Ghana. You guys are awesome. Thanks for inviting us, and maybe you made a mistake having us present because Anoop and I are trouble actually. So so we'll do our best. This is not gonna be like your typical, present and things like that. So first of all, this is who we are. We both founded Namaste Techies, and we have a weekly show, and you guys should join us. And after this, I'll show the links to all of this stuff. We got the YouTube link here, and as you know, we were presented earlier. I'm Harjit Dhaliwal. I'm based in Vermont, USA, which is in the northeast United States. I'm about 3 hours from Boston and about 1 hour from Montreal, so around that general area. I have over 20 years of IT experience, and now I'm at Microsoft and evangelizing and doing some awesome things. So I was also a former Microsoft MVP. So Anoop, take it over. Introduced.
Hey, so my name is Anoop, and I am basically from India, and currently I'm based out of Kerala, somewhere in the north side of the India, near the seas, right? So So my work location is basically Bangalore. Most of you had heard about Bangalore already, right? So yeah, my work is basically kind of something related to configuration manager, that is SCCM, and then Intune, Azure Virtual Desktop, and Windows 365, right? These are the 3 or 4 things I am mostly concentrated on. Similar to Harjit, I got around 20 plus years of IT experience, and I am Microsoft MVP from, I think, 2015. And that's it. Over to you. Back to you, Harjit.
All right. So we are all over the place, right? We have a lot of resources on social media. If you're not following us, please do. Definitely subscribe to our YouTube show, and follow us on Twitter. And you got all the links that I've broken it down here with Anoop's blogs and our LinkedIn groups, and Facebook groups and our Twitter accounts. So feel free to follow us, interact with us, and let's make the world awesome, right? By working together. All right. And by the way, if I added all of the Anoop's links, we probably need 3 more pages. So I just condensed everything to one.
Come on.
So what should you know about Windows 365? It's a new hotness, right? It's it's awesome. We're gonna talk about it. So basically, the agenda is pretty loose, right? It's I think we got what, an hour or so, and we're just gonna cover like what is Windows 365, how is Windows 365 licensed, so what are the requirements, how do you get it, how do you connect to it, what about applications, will they work or not, and things like that. You must have heard about Windows 365 business versus enterprise. Are there any differences there, what the use cases. And then a lot of times, we seem to get a lot of questions on what's the difference between Windows 365 and Azure Virtual Desktop (AVD), and we'll talk a little bit about that. And then Anoop is going to do a bunch of demos. He's going to show you the behind the scenes, how it all comes together. And then we have a slide for resources, for links and stuff that you can access. All right. All right. So we're ready to go, Anoop. Let's get started here. So
Hey,
what is Windows 365? Windows
yeah.
365 is basically the world's first cloud PC. It's your computer in the cloud, right? It's like what I'm using right now, this Lenovo laptop is basically I'm going to be accessing my whole Windows environment up in the cloud, which is and you can access it from anywhere in the world using almost any device, right? It it securely streams your personalized Windows desktop applications, settings, and contents from when you're using from one device to another device. For example, your phone or a different laptop or a desktop, or you go over to a friend's house and you say, "Hey, I want to access my computer," and you can do that, right, Anoop?
Yeah, that's perfectly put together, right? So Microsoft did an awesome work to introduce a new section, or I don't know what is that called, category, right?
Right.
That is called cloud PC, right? So you can roam around everywhere within the cloud with that PC, personalized PC, right? So you will get all your profile, everything in the cloud PC. That's thing about it, right?
Right, right. And like we're talking like what's a use case? Like who is it for? Well, it's for any organization of any size, right? if you're a small business or a small mom and pop shop, or someone has their mic on, um, or you're a large enterprise customer, like you got thousands of users and stuff. And this will scale from for any of those environments. It's very fluid and very um, uh, yeah, elastic, right? So people ask about, oh, sorry, coffee time. It's very early here in Vermont, by the way.
Yeah, that's your bed coffee, right?
Yeah. The, our friends from Ghana woke me up really early today.
That's great. That was nice.
Anyways, so what about licensing? Right, we had that on the topic items. Licensing is also interesting. So right now, there are two different editions of Windows 365, and you heard me mention about Windows 365 Enterprise and also Business, right? And each one um, has a slightly different offering depending on the configurations and based on the full performance needs and stuff like CPUs and RAM and displays and so on and so forth. The way it works is that there's a separate license per user on a fixed monthly fee. That's basically how it works. We're not Anoop and I are not really licensing experts, but that's
Yeah.
basically the concept of it. We have links for you to go check it out, and you can configure and say, I want this kind of a Windows a cloud PC with these configurations, and it'll tell you what your monthly usage or cost is going to be.
Harjit, do you know something about licensing, right? Microsoft is trying to introduce a licensing PhD course, right? It is so complex, at least for me, right? It is so complex. I am not going to get over it, right?
Uh,
Anywhere soon.
wow, you don't mean it.
No,
Right.
it was a joke.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. We both have PhD in licensing. Yeah. Sometimes we say, hey, our degree is in E3 or sometimes it's in E5 and,
Yes,
whatever.
yes. All right.
So anyway, so licensing will give you all the information, like I said, there's all these configurations or networking, requirements and things like that. So what about the hardware requirements? Are there any hardware requirements? Well, Windows 365 only requires a device to have an HTML5 browser, a good internet connection, or hardwired or wireless connection, is that you can actually do streaming video because technically you're streaming it down, right? Um, and um, and then depending on how much bandwidth you need and all that stuff. Okay, so those are kind of like the basic requirements. Now the good question is how do you get it, and how do you connect to it? Okay, how do you get it? If you are looking for the trial licenses right now, those are at capacity, and that should, from what both of us have heard, that it should be opening up in the very near future. But when Microsoft, provided those trial licenses, they went really quickly and reached capacity. So, but Anoop will show you, behind the scenes how it works and stuff like that. Because he's special, so he has a license.
No, I'm not special. I'm lucky, probably.
Yeah. That's a problem, you see, when they release stuff on the US time zone and you're in India time zone, you're already awake and stuff at that time, right? So you're first to get it. Anyways, so simply said, it's very easy to access Windows 365, the URL is windows365.com. Very easy, simple as that.
Yeah, you just need to add Microsoft also, right? Windows 365.microsoft.com. That's it.
Microsoft.com.
Yeah,
Yes, yes. So yeah, and I said, how do you connect? You can connect from any device, any platform, right? And iOS device or things like that. Anything that has an HTML5 capable browser or has a Microsoft Remote Desktop app. Very simple. So, is there anything you want to add, Anoop? Oh,
No, I think you're doing good. Yep.
okay, good, good. I got your approval. Yay! So, what about applications, right? So, why wouldn't your applications work? I mean, if they work in your traditional, hardware, OS-driven, devices, it should work as well in the cloud PC, because technically it's the same thing, unless there are some software there are very few, but there are some software that tend to have some hardware specific requirements. Sometimes they need a dongle and things like that, but those are kind of rare now these days, right, for licensing purposes and stuff. But what can you do? Let's say, you have an application that, maybe it's not working right, or you need to get it working. Well, Microsoft has got this program called App Assure, right? App Assure is available for all eligible customers with 150 seats or more. You can, well, I think I have the link for it as well, or you just Google or Bing, Microsoft App Assure. And what they do is they help customers remediate any application issues that you may have when you're deploying the latest version of that, of the software. If your applications don't work, App Assure will troubleshoot the issue with you and try to determine the root cause, and then try to help fix the application so you can use it. And this is not only just for cloud PC, but App Assure can be utilized for other areas as well. All right, so where are we at now? Right, I think now the big question is about Windows. What's the difference between Windows 365 and Azure Virtual Desktop? Well, Windows 365 is really about simplicity. It's simple. It's easy to set up. It's easy to provision. It's easy to access, to give your end users something to work on and follow, wherever they go. VDI requires it's also another great offering, and Azure Anoop has quite a bit of experience with that. And it is more complex. It requires a lot more skill sets, a lot more expertise and stuff to have it provisioned and deployed. AVD is designed for more flexibility, right? More it's you have more of a complex environment. It's more of a consumption based and solution rather than a monthly fixed kind of solution that is Microsoft Windows 365. Did I miss anything there, Anoop, or is that something you want to add on? Because
No, that's a point. All about that's a difference between ABD and Windows 365, basically, right? So Windows 365 is everything is cooked and ready. You just need to have it, right?
Right.
That is Windows 365, and AVD is something like you need to go to kitchen and you need to prepare it, and you need to get it ready for yourself, right? And then have it later, right? So that is the main difference between Windows 365 and AVD. You should not make it complex. You should not think more about what is the difference, why Microsoft introduced two products which are similar, right? So leave all those aside and think about in this perspective, right? You want to get a parcel from somewhere from the restaurant, then go for go for Windows 365. And if you want to prepare something in your kitchen, then go for AVD. That's it.
Right, right. Yeah, I think that's a great analogy, right? So, when you think about it, it's like, hey, do you want to be your own your own cook? And then having to go get all the ingredients and putting it together and then, making this amazing, delicious dish, and then, serving it. Or do you go to a restaurant and then just pick from the menu and say, hey, I want this, and then it comes on your plate, already prepared. So kind of like, at the end of the day, what are you getting? You're getting food, right? So it's just the same thing. I think the big differences here is one is consumption based. So, just like any other Azure services, right? The more you use, the more it's going to cost you and things like that. Whereas Windows 365 is a set fixed price for whatever you select for your configuration, right? Whether it's $30 a month or whether it's $40 a month per user and, things like that. So you can budget that, I guess, All right. So we did talk about that a little bit. And then, Anoop, you may need to help me here, but let's talk about the two different editions, which is Windows 365 for Business and Windows 365 Enterprise. And
Yeah.
Enterprise, it's definitely for organizations that have more than 300 users. It is, obviously you're talking about a big scale, and also to manage your Windows 365, your cloud PCs with Microsoft Endpoint Manager, taking advantage with all the integrations with the Microsoft services, Azure AD, Microsoft Defender for Endpoint, and so on and so on and so on, right?
Yeah.
Um,
From my perspective, right?
mhm.
Business is like from a technical perspective, it is if you talk about Windows 365 Business, it's kind of a Azure AD joined VM, right?
Yes.
And if you talk about Windows 365 Enterprise, then that is something like um, hybrid Azure AD join a device similar to AVD. AVD started supporting Azure AD also, right? Azure AD joined also, but Windows 365 Enterprise is at the moment only supports what do you call Azure, a hybrid Azure AD join scenario, right? So that is one of the main technical difference between two. And Harjit already mentioned about other things, so I don't want to go back again to all of those, right?
No, that's exactly it. And then yeah, and Windows for Business is for anything less than 300. So if you're a small shop, a small, I don't know, a clothing store, whatever, you got, 10 employees and things like that, then you would do Windows 365 for Business. And then it has there's some limitations to it as well. There's some, outbound data volume limits and stuff like that. And, that's basically what the differences are. So
yeah, let's take the a kitchen or food analogy here as well, right?
Yep. Yeah.
Windows 365 business is something like you are getting ready food parcel from a restaurant, right?
Mhm.
And Windows 365 business, or sorry, enterprise is something like you are getting some ready to make kind of a food, right, from
Right.
some shops somewhere, and you need to put something, you need to mix it and you have to eat it, but you need to put some more efforts, right, to cook that second type of food. That is Windows 365 enterprise, right?
Yes. 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 So yeah, so now let's, we can just gonna do a little bit of hands-on here. I think you guys can see I pulled up some links. Um, Again, Namaste Techies on YouTube. Please subscribe. As Anoop always like to say, please subscribe, like, share, and whatever. So we, if you notice here, we have some videos, and we went through some of these things. We covered Windows 11. We got Windows 365. A quick walkthrough demo, which basically what Anoop's going to do very soon. Then we did another one here about the web client portal for Windows 365, stuff like that, and then uh, about Intune and now we're moving into the Windows 11 side here. But anyways, please check it out and subscribe. And if you guys need us to cover more things like that, we're happy to do shows on that particular topic for you. So as I mentioned before, um, Windows 365, this is the landing page. And, you can come in here, has a lot of different information for you, what it is and how do you see, for small and medium businesses, for enterprise businesses, it breaks it down for you. Okay. And if you go up here, basically you can click, let's say you want to know more about the enterprise side, you click on that, gives you a ton more information. You click on pricing. See, this is what we were talking about earlier. Again, you can toggle this back and forth. Not much, when you toggle that, not much changes other than this changes here from unlimited users to 300 users. I can show that to you right now. If that 300 users. And so anyways, there are different, pricing plans, different customizations. So please do check that out. And what I wanted to show you is that if you're not familiar with Windows 365 and you're still waiting for the trial license, there's an interactive demo portal that Microsoft provides. And this is really, really interesting, really cool, actually. So Anoop and I did a demo on this as well in one of our shows, but I can show you how this works. It's pretty straightforward. We come to, this interactive demo URL. I'll turn off the volume. It walks you through, it gives you all the instructions that you need to do. So for example, if I click on the first one, assign a Windows 365 license, it tells you what to do. Click on users on the left-hand side. So you click on users here. And then it says select active users, and then it says select John Doe, right? So you go here, you select John Doe. And as it does that, select licenses and apps. See how cool this is? I mean, it literally walks you through on what to do, right? So then you select, Windows 365, save changes, and so on and so forth. So I'm not going to go through the whole thing, but that's the concept of of this thing. So when you complete this one module, it'll have like a green checkbox, and then you go to the next one and next one and next one. This will give you a really good understanding on how to use Windows 365 Cloud PC and how to educate other people as well. And I'm not sure if all right, so yes, on tech community, there's a post from Christian Brinkhoff, who's one of the leads from Microsoft, who's leading this awesome project, and lots of details here. Again, we have the links in our slides, and we'll provide that to you, to the team in Ghana, so they can share it with you. But there's tons and tons and tons of information here. See, this is what I was talking about. If you have one CPU, two CPU, 4 gigs of RAM, 256 hard drive, and so on and so forth. So there's so many different specs that you can choose from for your organization or for whatever your use case is, right? It talks about the subscriptions, the virtual network that you need to configure, um, lots of things. This is a great resource. Another one, before I pass this off to Anoop. Anoop has, if you are not familiar with his website, anoopnair.com. He has loads and loads and loads of blog posts, lots of tutorials. So one of them is called this one here, Windows 365 Cloud PC Deployment Processing Step-by-Step Guide. It's amazing. And he's got videos, how to provision, anything you can imagine. He's got it all here. So definitely bookmark and check this out, and add his blog to your RSS feed. Okay. And then finally, last but not least, Anoop is part of this Windows 365 community, or W365 community. And he is one of the top contributors, or one of the, there's Patrick Kohler, Donna Ryan, Kristen Brinkoff, Aaron Parker, and so on and so forth. There's all sorts of, wonderful stuff in here. A lot of blog posts that come out that they share, including a deep dive from John Saville and tons and tons of stuff. So check this out. All right. So I will pass this off to Anoop, and it's all yours, man. Do the demo.
That's perfect. What's time? Okay, I got around 29 minutes. That's perfect. Superb.
See, I gave you enough time.
Yeah. Cool. Let me try to share my screen. Hopefully you can see my screen now. And this screen is coming from India.
See?
Okay. Jokes apart. So first of all, this is the end user portal for Windows 365, right? So as Harjit already mentioned, it's windows365.microsoft.com. If you go over here, and if you have the license, and if your user ID is assigned to a particular or provisioned with a Windows 365 VM, you will get a screen like this. You need to go through the initial setup page. That is nothing but it will say like what is Windows 365 Cloud PC, etc. Right? Then you will be presented with this particular screen, right? And
I just want to add that the reason why he's seeing this, because Anoop is special. So the rest of us, no, not so much. It's just.
No, I'm just lucky. Okay. So basically this portal, I love this portal because it gives me a fresh look and feel. It gives a fresh look and feel, right? And you have some interesting options here. This is your Windows 365 PC or Cloud PC assigned to you, and this is the policy name. The Cloud PC is the policy name, and Anoop B is my username, right? That is why it shows like this. Okay, and if you click on this, you would be able to see some options like restart. You can restart. I have seen restart sometimes work. There's a small bug probably, or probably there's some issue from my side. I don't know. So restart probably sometimes you need to do it twice, then only it will get restarted, right? And there's option to rename. I'm not going to go through all the things over here. I just wanted to show you what is it exactly, right? And it is interesting to
So
see.
basically what this is that when you provision, the cloud PCs for your users, they'll have their, the whatever the default custom names, and if they want, they can change the rename their own cloud PC to suit their own requirements. Because one user can have multiple cloud PCs. You're not limited to one because they can have different use cases. You can have someone who's working on the I don't know, who's a accountant, and then they need one for that, and they need another one because they're working in a different type of environment, so on. Sorry, Anup, go on.
No, that's good. So basically, from the configuration perspective, right? You can see all the configurations over here. This sometimes can be a bit tricky, right? If you're sitting in an office and you're next to you, some person is sitting, and that person is having 4 vCPUs and 16 gigabytes of RAM, and he's looking into that, and
He's lucky.
and yeah, so he will say like, oh, I also want 16 gigabytes of RAM virtual PC. I don't want the 8 gigabytes of RAM. Why there is this differentiation between both of us, right? That kind of a conversation might start, right? Because I have seen some of the discussions internally within some organizations. So probably Microsoft, we might need to raise a feature request or something to remove, to give option to remove this details if organization needs that, right? So in a remote working scenario, that is not required at all because nobody is going to sit near to you and access the same cloud PC, right? So, okay. And if this is the home page for the cloud PC or Windows 365 client side, right? And there's option over here that is basically the download option, right? So there are different options to access cloud PC, as Harjit already mentioned, right? One of them is this portal, and you can use native clients on each of the devices, right? For example, if you are using Mac OS, you can download the client from Mac App Store, right? And same for Apple App Store, iOS App Store, right? And same for Google Play Store, right? Okay. Now let's quickly move into the admin side of it. Okay, that's interesting. I got a password prompt. So I'm going to show all the demo from my Windows 365 device. Or
Anoop's password is chicken curry, by the way, if anybody wants.
it's Namaste Techies 1 2 3. Okay, so let's go to the Windows 365 section over here, right? So this is endpoint.microsoft.com portal, and this is the portal for all the provisioning policy setup and for end-to-end kind of activities of Windows 365, right? Apart from license assignment, right? Probably you can do license assignment also somewhere, but I have not checked that, right? So first step, always you need to go to one thing Harjit already showed us, That is from I think it was from Office 365 Admin Center, right? Or Microsoft 365 Admin Center, you can assign a license. And same thing can be done from Azure portal also, right? I'm in Azure portal, and you can see the license is being assigned. I'm lucky, that is why I got this test license, right? This is the license. This is a different name. It shows a different name. That's fine, but it works. It's basically a Windows 365 standard license, right? So you need to make sure that you have this, your user has this particular license, and you should have enterprise mobility plus security E3 license or something, or you can have Microsoft 365 E3 or E5 licenses, right? And you can get the trial version of Microsoft 365 license, but for the trial version of Windows 365 license, you might need to wait for some more time. Okay, so let's go back to, so my particular user is assigned with a license, so we are all fine. That is why I'm accessing Windows 365 or Cloud PC, and I'm showing the demo from that. Okay, I don't know, somebody's...
Yes, sorry to cut you. It seems someone has a question, so maybe
Do we want to
ask.
save questions for the end?
Yeah.
Maybe we can save the questions for the end once we're done the demos.
All right.
Okay.
Okay. So let's
Thank
continue.
you. Okay, cool. So let's move back to Intune portal. So that is my favorite, right? That is why I'm saying Intune portal, right?
Yeah.
It's not Intune portal. It is called Microsoft Endpoint Manager Admin Center. That's mouthful of name. Okay. Anyways, okay. So there's a tab called Windows 365, and in Windows 365 you would be able to see all the PCs available, all the cloud PCs available over here, right? I have three PCs. One is not provisioned, right? You can see a status over here also, right? And first thing, if I go to overview, you would be able to see the dashboard. This dashboard is really useful, right? In the dashboard, it will tell you what you need to do first, right? You need to have a connectivity back to your on-prem network to do a hybrid Azure AD join, right? So
Yes.
what is hybrid Azure AD join? Hybrid Azure AD join is domain joined devices plus Azure AD registered, right? That is why we need, for that domain join stuff, you need a network connectivity back to on-prem. That is the first step whenever you do Windows 365 provisioning, right? So the next step is, once you have done the network connection, then the next step is provisioning policies, right? And in the provisioning policies, you will say like, okay, what are the configurations you required? What are the things? What are the SKU required for your organization or your set of device users, right? And you can provision the policy accordingly. Okay, and the third is images, right? So you can have a custom image if you want, and you need to upload that custom image to Azure image gallery, right? And you can use it from there, right? You can call that image from Azure gallery through the provisioning policies over here. Okay, so that's images, and there's a out of box image that is a default image already prepared by Microsoft themselves, right? So you can use it directly.
Right. The images that are provided by Microsoft in the gallery are maintained by Microsoft, so they're always updated and stuff like that. Whereas if you do your custom ones, then you have to make sure that you are also keeping track of that and having to manually update those. So.
Yep. That's good point. And let's move on and see first thing first, right? How to kind of a connection, create a connection between your cloud PCs and on-prem network, right? So there are some prerequisites to it. Something like Azure Active Directory connection should be there, right? For example, if you click on that option, you would be able to see the AAD Connect should be in place, and AAD Connect helps us to sync user objects, device objects, and passwords, not passwords, right? Password hash, right? Between from on-prem to the cloud, right? So that is one of the prerequisite for Windows 365 Enterprise version, and you should have a subscription, Azure subscription, and you should have all the accesses related to a permission, right? Permissions related to Azure subscription, to create a resource group or to use an existing resource group, create resources in that resource group, etc. Right? And the important thing is you should have a connectivity back to your on-prem data center. You can have express route, or you can have a site-to-site VPN. So I don't recommend site-to-site VPN for large deployments, right? If it's a small POC, probably you can go ahead with site-to-site VPN connection. Okay, and you need to have a VNet. A VNet is nothing but a VLAN kind of stuff in Azure, right? And you should not have any policy restrictions in Azure to deny you from creating some resources and some network-related policies, etc. Right? And the basic stuff, without DNS, nothing is going to work, right? So DNS is the main thing, right? And Active Directory domain join. So for that, you need like Active Directory domain join accounts and things like that, right? If you don't have service accounts to join cloud PCs to your Active Directory, the provisioning is not going to work, right?
So this is a good part here that we should inform that at the moment, Cloud PC requires hybrid Azure AD join, right? It's not straight Azure AD. You do need hybrid. There are many people that are asking, hey, we just want to do Azure AD. That might be coming in the near future, but so.
Yeah, otherwise you can get a parcel from the restaurant. That is Windows 365 business, right? Go for it. Okay. Click on create button to create a connectivity between your on-prem network and Azure network, right? Let's say Ghana, and let's select the subscription. Just give a name, right? Whatever name you want, not whatever name, right? Use some specific names as per the standards of your organization, basically, right? So that people can understand what does this exactly, right? So resource group, always use the correct names in resource group. So I have predefined resource groups. I am going to use that, and I have VNets inside that resource group. That is why if I click on if I select this MEMCM resource group, and I would be able to see the VNets inside that resource group, right? So if I select something else, probably Windows 365, probably I won't be having. Okay, I still have that. Right? I thought like it won't have, but I recommend to use the same resource group. Otherwise, you can use if your organization standard is something different, you can use a different resource group, etc. for dedicated for Windows 365, right? So that will help you to help you with some, I don't know, maybe probably for billing or some applying some specific policies, Azure related policies, etc. Right? So select the proper network over here. My network is MEMCM net, and select the subnet. Right? I only have one subnet over here in my lab, and click on next. So here is where you need to put all your Active Directory, on-prem Active Directory details, right? So you need to put your details like memcm.com if that is your domain name, right? And you need to put if you want to have all your cloud pieces in a particular OU, you can put that OU details over here. This is an optional. That is why you don't see a star over there, right? And you need to put the username UPN over here, right? And if you hover over there here, you would be able to see like what you need to put and what is the format, and that is very useful, right? So this is the domain username and password, right? Which is required for domain join scenarios, right? And that is what you need to put over here. And password you need to put twice. That's fine. So once you put all these things, you can kind of create the connectivity between your on-prem network and the cloud PC network, right? So I have already created this. That is why I'm not going to go through the entire stuff over here. So I have some specific. I have put my username, password. I have put defined my OU over here for this particular thing, and it is working fine for me, right? So that is all about connecting your cloud PC network to on-prem network or Active Directory, right? Once that is done, then we will proceed with provisioning policies, right? How to provision policy, Windows 365 policy, and how to deploy it to Azure AD user group. Okay, so let's quickly go into that and see how to provision a policy, right? Click enter the name. Probably I will put Gana. And select the connection. So this is the connection network connection which we have created right already, and click on next to proceed further. And over here, this is the image part, right? And Harjit already explained what is the difference between standard image and the customized image, right? Standard image is basically the Microsoft managed image, that is a gallery image, right? And the custom image is something you manage. You have to manage it. You have to build an image. You have to create an image. You have to put whatever security policies in it if you want. Otherwise, you can deploy it through Intune, right? I'm a zero image person, right? If you ask me what is the best recommended way, probably for some of the organization they want custom image. But if you ask me, I want to get away from imaging, custom imaging, right? I want to use a gallery image, and then the applications policies come from Intune, right? So that is the best way, easiest way, rather than managing like probably 20 plus images, right? I have seen organizations where they have like 20 plus or 50 plus images, custom images, and they have to manage those images, right? Probably once every 4 months or something like that. So that is an overhead. But there are options like CI/CD pipeline or DevOps kind of a scenario where you can automatically manage custom images or create and manage custom images. That is another story altogether. And the CI/CD pipeline.
I know we got 3 minutes to give room for questions after, so make it quick.
we are good. Okay. So So let's go and select a gallery image, and in the gallery image you can see like these are the options, and you can see like which are the options available, and which is the recommendation, right? So I'm going to select blindly going to select any of the images just to show you. Click next, and this is where you need to select user group as your ready user group, and make sure all the users in this group should have a license, right? A Windows 365 license. Otherwise, the provisioning will fail. Okay, so you need to make sure that all these users should have a appropriate license, right? So you can say HDMD user group, some user group you can select, right? And you can deploy this particular provisioning policy to that user group. Okay, so I'm not going to complete that because I already have some policies already deployed to the users, and you can see it's deployed to Azure Active Directory user group that is called W365. All right, and you can see all the configurations which I used, gallery image and all, right? So let's move on and see what is the, okay, let's skip user settings and other things for now, and let's quickly move to some of the end user experience of Windows 365, right? So this is the PC. When this is the cloud PC end user experience. I was showing all the demo and portal from this PC itself, right? So this is the normal Windows 10 PC, and whenever you log into this PC, you would be able to see if you go to accounts. I think if you go to accounts and if you go to access work school, you would be able to see the domain join and Intune management option over here. If it's just a domain join, you won't be able to see the info button over here, right? And if the info button is there, that means this device is kind of Intune managed, right? Or MEM managed, right? So if you go to MEM managed scenario, you would be able to see what are the policies deployed from Intune, right? And there are some bunch of policies optimization things coming directly from Windows 365, right? Microsoft is doing it for you, so you don't need to worry about something like that, right? As you can see, the time redirection. Okay, that is a perfect example, right? You can see it is redirecting my local time over here. It's 6:25 p.m. in India. That is why it shows the local time. So these are the policies automatically configured by Microsoft. You don't need to configure, but I have seen in AVD scenario, sometimes you need to configure it, right? In Azure Virtual Desktop scenario, but Windows 365 scenario, it is by default out of box configured, right? So give me one more sec. This is the registry entries. If you want to check which are the policies deployed, right? These are the registry entries. You need to look which are the policies deployed through Intune, etc. And if you want to troubleshoot something related to MEM policies, you can go into this particular event log, and you can check. That is advanced kind of troubleshooting scenario. That's it from my side. Now we are open for questions, right, Harjit?
Yay, good job, Anoop. All right. Any questions? I know there was some hands earlier.
Yeah. Okay. So myself, I have a question. Normally when you are deploying or provision devices, users, you would have to put them in a group. If you are using the group, let me say it that way, you don't get the option to add multiple group. I don't know if that has been resolved or is still kind of a one group thing. Where you were provisioning the policies, could you add multiple groups into it?
Okay, that's a good point. Let me check.
Things like that. Those images will be, uh, you know, patched up as well.
Yeah, if you want everything managed from Microsoft side, probably Windows 365 Business is the option, right? So that's probably something you need to kind of look into.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, I
Okay,
think
thank you very much. Thank you, Ernest.
Yes, Chesco.
Yeah, a quick one. When this session started, I thought it was 5 minutes ago, and right now we are done. Why? Please, please, can we continue this with your permission?
We really want more because it was
Really?
a group session. I don't know. I wish we could even go more. We really want more. We were enjoying. In fact, I'm even itching to get my hands on the 365 interactive demo. I want to really try that quickly. So I'm really.
We're happy to come back on the show. We can do more of our YouTube style presentations and keep an open idea rather than a very specific topic.
Exactly.
And Anoop and I can basically
Yes.
talk to you guys for 2 hours. Yes.
We love it. We love it, and we've really enjoyed it. We've really enjoyed it. I think
the hand. You
yes,
forgot that?
yes.
Namaste.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Thank you.
All right, everybody. Thank you. Thank you for having us.
Very much. Yes, and I think our summit is up and coming, so we will see what we can do together. Thank you very much.
Right.
Yeah.
Thank you all.
Let's go.
Cheers.
Cheers. Namaste.
Namaste.
Okay.
Thank you. Nice session.